Hey, what's up, guys? I just received the last package that I was waiting for to start building another batch of the replicas. This go around, there's going to be 7 of them. And there's some slight changes. I have one gripe about the magazines on a couple of the last ones being painted, and they listened to me and they did not paint any of these magazines. They still have the American flag or the Punisher logo on them. We'll take a look at them in just a second. Now, if you're new to this and you don't know what I'm talking about, just go to my channel and look up my videos where I'm talking about replica Blackbirds. It's basically a replica Dro's Blackbird, and it's like the next level of one of those. So originally there was the Bumblebee. It had a 30-round stick magazine, and it was 1, 3, and 6 round burst at 300, 450, and 600 rounds a minute. That was really cool. But as soon as we got our hands on it in this market, we started tinkering around with it. There was a whole community that sprung up around it, and then later on, Cal kind of caved to us, and they came up with the Hopper magazine, and that made them have to change the circuit board in the gun to provide power for the magazine, and that bumped it up from 30 rounds to about 1,000 BBs. And after we got that, we wanted faster and full auto. Now, they did have full auto chips for the Bumblebees in the beginning. It was a little piggyback board that went on the Bumblebee board, but still you only had, 30 rounds. So they were already into that before the Hopper magazines came. And from what I think they did, they just took that same chip and replaced the the Blackbird circuit board chip with it. And that gave you, what was it, 300, 600, 1,200 rounds a minute, 1, 3, and full auto bursts. So that was a lot of fun. And at some point, Sergey came out with his board, and that was received very well. The first person who got one of those was Green Dots from the forum, and he was a pretty big, prominent guy in the BB machine gun forum, and so he said he got one. He gave it like a glowing review, and then Sergey's board kind of got mainstream within our little group, and I kind of came along after all of that when it was kind of on the decline, and then sanctions were placed against all the Kalashnikov members, and I'd become buddies with Sergey, and that was his only form of income, so yada yada yada. I did what I could, and then the best way we could figure to bring more interest into it was to increase the rate of fire. So at that point, the latest and greatest thing was 2,000 rounds a minute, and it didn't work right. So I fixed that, and then we doubled it to 4,000 rounds a minute, went all the way to 8,000 rounds a minute, and then brought it back to 4,000 rounds a minute for the Blackbird. Came up with our own platform, which is Freebird, which we do 5,000 rounds a minute. And the reason we don't go any further than 5,000 rounds a minute is because beyond that, you start trading just getting BBs out of the barrel for velocity. Now, a lot of you guys already know all this, so I'm sorry if I'm boring you. But they did send some parts for Freebird that I've been waiting on. They're very nice parts, and we'll take a look at those in just a minute and discuss why they changed it and how they changed it. So these are the mags that just arrived, and as you can see, we have the American flag etched onto either side and the Punisher logo etched onto either side. I guess I could do, if I had two customers at the same time that wanted one on either side, I could interchange the sides so you could have a flag on one side and the Punisher on the other. That's possible. They also sent some of these tools, and this is for the valve. Let's see what valves they put in here. Don't have enough light, but if you look through there, you can see if it has one of the 4-hole valves. I'm not sure if you can see the 3-hole valves. I just don't have enough light in here to see. Wait a minute, there we go. Yeah, these do have the high flow valves, and yeah, I guess they want me to send these out with them. I just asked him what he wants me to do with those, if there's an additional fee for them or what. They also sent some internal air adapters. I don't know if I showed you guys what they did with those yet. I think I did. Anyway, they're anodizing them now, so they're the color to match the magazine instead of the shiny aluminum. As for the Freebird parts, this is what they sent. We're calling these snails. We just got to calling them snails for one reason or another. This is how it started out in aluminum. They gave some issues. It wasn't like a real deal breaker issue with them being aluminum, but they went ahead and started making them out of steel. And I mean, quite frankly, that's, not the best quality, but if it works, it works. And so now, they're just making them out of a nice solid piece of milled steel. And Bruce was telling me in a Blackbird magazine, it would look like, if this were a Blackbird, you have a similar part in here. Let me try to get this out. You've got a similar part in here, so that kind of does the same job, except you can remove it from a Blackbird a lot easier than you can from Freebird. But anyway, what Bruce was telling me, that inside here, there's another part of this too. It's gives the BBs a channel to go through, just like this channel you see here. He was telling me that he put a piece of brass on here to tighten up the tolerance in there, and he said it made a huge difference. I haven't tried that, so I haven't seen it for myself, but he swears by doing that, if you wanted to try to make an improvement on your Blackbird, that is certainly something that you can do. Just glue some type of material in there that would tighten up the tolerance in there for the BBs going through. He swears by it. I have yet to go down that rabbit hole. So anyway, along the same time, I don't know if he was talking to Ruslan, but that was incorporated into this right about the same time. Let's get a BB and check the tolerance on that. And we might as well check it on the other one too. So there we go. And as the first one on top was the original, and then the second version, and then the current version, which I have yet to test. So if everything goes right with all the new parts, I do have enough new parts in to build, I think, 2. And I told you, no, did I tell you? I don't think I told you guys, but I'm working on 1. I've been putting together what I can put together. One of the camouflage birds. We'll just go over there real quick and I'll show you where I am with it. I'm not really sure where that cut out. This memory card's almost full, but it just cut off on me and stopped recording. Hopefully I got most of it. But anyway, in the meantime, hit me up if you want one of the replicas. I'm going to be offering them as they are. With, they'll have Sergey's board in it. It'll be 1,200 round a minute capable. I would not recommend running air or 14500s without me hardening it. I'll be offering that service for an additional fee, and I'm also going to be offering them in the 4K version, which gives you a maximum fire rate of 4,000 rounds a minute. All right, guys. Just hit me up at this coming email address, and I'll be listening out for you later.